Farescape Engineers Inspector Summary Video. We're here in Somerville, wood structure. What we're going to talk about is this Farescape is one that was permitted and installed with permits. But there's a few deficiencies here that were accepted when they put this up by the city officials, but they still have to be made aware of it. And there's about a 25% deficiency now structurally in the reinforcement. So we got some nails popping here and there. We've got some warpage happening. We've got some cracks happening in a lot of places. So in order for this thing to get another 5 to 10 years, we're going to have to seal anything that's going to be using freeze and thaw to tear it apart, especially here. This will just keep tearing itself apart. So nail it all down. I want this sealed with silicone so that it stops the freeze and thaw process. But then you need to get those metal brackets out of Home Depot. And you got a bracket here or guss at the top. Same thing at the bottoms. Any place that's a major structure where somebody's leaning against it, you got to secure it both at this part and this part here. In some cases, if the wood on the top is bad, just put a brand new piece of wood over the top of this one and then secure it accordingly. And things like this, you got to secure it back to the house. You know, so it's got to have some good piece, because this is what they're worried about. And you got to replace all your balustrades. Every one of them's got to be confirmed, and anything that's warped, you gotta fix so that children don't pop through. There's missing one right there. And these are the kind of brackets we're looking for. So either we're gonna load test this Farescape, or we're gonna provide other evidence of strength back to the official that we are going above and beyond a normal wood structure. We're gonna back it all up with steel gussets in every way possible. And again, in any major structural crack, we're gonna seal it. And in some cases, if need be, we're gonna carriage bolt it all the way through just to squish it so it doesn't grow anymore. But every joint, every major structural, you can't have any of this. Okay, none of this. So this all needs to be sealed up and everything needs to be replaced. This is a question for the city officials to accept that as an as-is condition. It was permitted this way. Not permitted this way, it got built this way, and nobody, this looks like it's about 15 to 25 years old, this structure. So going down, the rise and run is not standard, but it's not unlike others I've seen. Anything that we see that can cut, we got to get all nails back in, because these nails, as they pop, your hands can get cut. Looks like standard construction. All that's in good order. On this side, same thing. You might have to, depending on in some cases they want the metal. What do you call those things? One of these. Now I forget the name for some reason. All right, silicone shut all the major connections. This is another transition that is not always to code, but it was accepted. This is starting to pull away, so a lot of this we just need to make sure that we've got some good tight bracketing, and we got some good and tight, we haven't had any water seeping in through the lag screws and rotting away in any way. So, and this here is unacceptable with just a simple carriage bolt. Okay, we're probably gonna have to get a either a 4-inch flat there, 4-inch flat there, and create a sandwich. Seal this baby up so that this is really strong. But I would use 3x3 angle on this side, 3x3 angle on the back side, then bolt it through so we can basically marry this together very well. Things like this, they need that brackets. You know, we're getting a lot of rot, usually 1 to 2 inches from here. So just additional nails and screws is not going to cut it. We need some sort of metal bracketing in order to get back to the good meat. Tying back into the walls. You know, this is unacceptable. We have to put a bracket in here and just tie it back into the building. Again, check all your balustrades, and you can do this. You don't have to put matching ones. As long as you have something like this back in there, you're welcome. I would stain this whole thing, and with the metal bracketing, you're going to get at least 10 years out of this thing. The only other question we're going to speak with the city official is this is supposed to be not 5/4, it's supposed to be 1.5 inches. So you'll either have to double this up, or the city will accept it as is, but they're going to have to let me know, because for fire rating it's supposed to be 1.5 inches thick. And if that's the case, then all this deck just needs one more layer of 5/4, and all these treads need one more layer of 5/4.
Okay, why would they allow it to be built and permitted with the building permit?
Again, that's why they'll grandfather it if they wish.
Yeah.
But if it's, a lot of times, even fire escapes are built not to 100 pounds per square foot. They build them to 60 or 80 pounds per square foot. Again, they'd have to grandfather you in to allow it. It's not my call. I just have to note it and say what needs to be said. So, but I would stain this whole thing, and then you start getting out into these things. These are all things that cut your hands, so you got to make sure that there's no nails sticking up, and you got to get these all down. And then I would seal it with silicone, because any water getting into these joints is rotting out your nails. So the metal brackets are going to get good meat both here and away from the ends, where nothing is. Everything is starting to be a bad connection location. See, this is an example, just right there. See how the water's getting in there. Okay, going down to the ground here. Again, this was a permitted staircase put in many years before this owner bought the property. This owner bought the property with this condition, and she's passed many previous inspections. But again, we just need to make sure that we have covered all the bases here. Any questions? Fire Escape Engineers, Inspector Summary Video. This is Inspector Meneses, 866-649-0333, 866-649-0333.